The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome inside Week 3 of the Mike Clowney Show as Carson-Newman falls at home in its South Atlantic Conference opener to the Limestone Saints in double overtime by a final score of 40-37. I'm Adam Cavalier, the voice of the Eagles, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney. Mike, a highly entertaining game, probably from the neutral fans' perspective, but for a Carson-Newman fan, coaching staff, players, administrators, one that no doubt leaves a little bit of a sting. Did some really nice things offensively, but had some miscues within special teams that proved exceedingly costly. You've had a sleep to dwell on it. What'd you see out of your team? Some good, but also some bad that you can definitely point to and say, this has to be better.
I'll go to the bad first, but I think the negatives were, always, penalties. We had some penalties show up that affected plays, that affect the ball game. We got 2 kick returns that put us in pretty good field position that get called back because we have penalties really away from the play that shouldn't affect the play, but they wind up affecting the play. Just that we talked about the miscues in the kicking game, to where we've got to make sure we do a better job. Like from the very front end, we muff a kickoff return, get the ball at the 6. We're punting out of our own end zone, which we really got a good punt, but we allow them to return it down to inside I think it's on the 12-yard line. Eventually, that net's scored for them. And so there's several things like that, within the kicking game that we've got to get improved. Like we got to tackle better. Going and watching the game again, there's just a lot of just missed tackles that, and that, the play's over with if we just make the play where it's at. We got to get more guys rallying to the ball. We've got to not be comfortable being blocked or just in our gap. Once we see the ball cut, we've got to run to the football and get more guys there to help. Third down was critical. Like, I don't know exactly what the percentages were, but they made a lot of big plays on third downs to keep drives alive, to where we need to be able to get off the field.
You bring that up. It was the third and longs, third and intermediate, third and short. It wasn't bad, but 5 for 14 as the game on third down for the Saints, but the third 7+. That's what those 5 were.
They just stick out because, those are situations where you feel like, all right, we're about to get off the field, and then you allow them to kind of keep a drive alive, keep your defense on the field, and it sets up scores.
The good, hard running from the running backs, an offense that eclipses 300 yards rushing, had good balance with 160-plus yards through the air from an efficient Ivan Corbin. What'd you see out of a unit that moved the ball efficiently and effectively all day long?
That's something that we've challenged the offense with, being more consistent, kind of being able to kind of persistently move the football. But I thought our backs did a good job. Brackett, new guy that hadn't played a lot. I think he led us rushing and just had a lot of really just tough runs where he was grinding a lot of stuff out. TJ King still did a fabulous job for us. And I'm about to lose one, TC. TC comes in and has a couple really good bruising runs. And offensive line, did a good job. We had some problems with their backside end. He did a really good job of running some things down, kick and run. But offensive line, I thought, they gave us traction. I thought they allowed us to be able to move the football. Being able to got a couple guys catch passes. Luke Simpson's touchdown. Kate Meeks catches the ball over here to kind of keep us alive. And of course Braxton. And so, there's some things there that we did well. Even defensively, we had a couple stops to kind of keep us in the game, to get us the ball back with decent field position. Calvin Clements' interception was a big play for us at a time we really needed it.
Carson-Newman falls in its sack opener to the Limestone Saints by a final score of 40-37 in double overtime. We'll start breaking down the first half when we return after these messages. This is the Mike Clowney Show.
Sure, we've been around a while, 171 years to be exact, founded on the banks of a creek. This creek, Mossy Creek. We know the power of a liberal arts-based Christian education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus, within this community. We are found here and here and here and here, and also here in the classroom, on the field. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
We are
family on a journey of discovery.
I found my passion. I found my calling.
I found family.
I found a way to lead.
I found a place to call my own.
I found purpose.
There's something for everyone.
We are Carson-Newman.
What will you find?
All right, back on the Mike Clowney Show as Carson-Newman falters in its sack opener to the Limestone Saints in heartbreaking fashion in double overtime, 40-37. Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney. Mike, you started going in on the offense and listed the running backs who performed. Really feels like you've got a group that is developing into what you're accustomed to seeing out of the Carson-Newman running back room, with 3 to 5 guys that can absolutely pound the ball for hard yardage. What have you seen, more specifically, out of a Tyler Curtis? The big surprise, Vontae Brackett and T.J. King, who we know has worked his tail off over the summer.
I think I'll really go back to their coach. I mean, Coach Weaver's done a great job in that room of, he's hard-nosed, he's demanding, he pushes them every day, but he loves on them, he encourages them. And, you can see the frustration in their face, a lot of days during practice. But the thing that happens is he makes it hard at practice every day. And so, now I think, when you get into games on Saturday, hopefully now they're starting to kind of see some of that success and see why he demands so much of them, day in and day out, to where it'll kind of transit in the games on Saturday. But it's been fun watching them. Like I say, just to see the frustration from Tuesday to Wednesday and then the results on Saturday, that's something that you hope that they notice.
A first quarter that started inauspiciously. You mentioned it early, had the muffed kickoff return, got pinned inside your own 15, go 3 and out. Limestone goes down and scores, but you responded immediately. Lengthy 7-play, 71-yard drive, capped off by a T.J. King run. How proud were you of your team's pretty much immediate response to that initial adversity?
That was one thing that you saw from this team on the sidelines. They never flinched. We were behind probably the majority of the game, but they never flinched. They never got in a tizzy. Just to get the ball, we come back. We got the ball in good field position because we had a decent return, and then Brackett rolls off a run to kind of get it back down in here close. But, we come right back down and score. And so, fortunately, from a coaching standpoint, it's all right, we wiped that off the scoreboard at 0-0, then let's just kind of start this game over. And the kids had that mentality. They come back down, they scored. Like I said, we didn't flinch. And, I think we have a chance to score again and maybe miss a field goal to kind of go take an early lead after that.
If there was probably one thing that was frustrating from that first half and early portion of the third quarter as well, you had 4 drives that entered Limestone territory and 0 points off those 4 possessions. A missed 26-yard field goal, had some penalties on special teams. I think it was back-to-back false starts that Nate Kraft made, field goals of 43 and 48 before, after that second false start, missing from 53. He alluded to the penalties. That hasn't been something that has been problematic for your teams. Last year, you were one of the best in the country, at fewest penalties, and through 2 weeks, again, small sample size, top 30. What happened here?
I think, we talk about this all the time. Like, most of the time penalties happen when you lose focus. There's two things to me. You either lose focus and you make a mistake, or you get caught in a situation to where I hate saying this, but you turn it into you get frustrated and you go, you see an opportunity there and you just aren't focused enough to kind of, pull off of that block. Just kind of go shield it. And so, and then, we had some of that to where, we hesitated a little bit. It's a longer kick to make sure guys could kind of nestle themselves in so where we can get the ball off and the ops are good. And, the trigger in our head, there we just, and after the first one, you're like, all right, we'll lock in. I'll be a little late, but I won't jump off, and then we do it again. And so then you get in the situation to where he's capable of making that field goal, but, do you go and punt like we did earlier in that situation and try to see if you can pin him in and play the field position game? But, he just hit the other two, and they were being good from there. So, that's the reason you go ahead and kick it, and we miss it.
Carson-Newman trailed at the halftime break to the Limestone Saints 20-15, and here are those first half highlights.
Snap back, handoff Stewart, stretch play left side, steps out of a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and high steps between the hashes for 6. Touchdown Saints. Trey Stewart, 4th rushing touchdown of the season. Gives Limestone the opening edge, 6-0. Corbin out of the gun, Curtis to his right. It's a handoff to Curtis left side, good stiff arm. He's across midfield with first down yardage. Curtis lowers his shoulders and bowls over a Saint defender. At the Eagle 19. Center from the gun. Back to pass. Rolls left. Throws left into the flat left side of the end zone. It's caught. It's complete. Touchdown Saints. Jelani Baker hauls it in strong. From the gun, double barrel shotgun. Takes the snap. Corbin, zone read keeper, left side. Corbin with a blocker, rolls inside the 30, and flicked to the surface by Ellison after a 10-yard gain down to 2nd and 6. A toss sweep right side, that goes nowhere. The toss sweep to Jadarius Hector, blown up. 3rd down, 7 to go. Setter from the gun, takes the snap, looks left, throws left. It's at the 1-yard line. The nose of the football breaks the plane. Touchdown Saints. Jadarius motion, takes the snap and hands off to Brackett. Brackett, the dive works like a charm, splitting the hashes. He's into Saint territory across the 40, running along the left hashes. Setter. 2nd and 10 will give to Stewart left side. Stewart does not have running room, and Nick Owens has the pursuit to drop him way back at the 30-yard line. A loss of 6 on the play. Own 11. Need the 24. Corbin rolls right, settles, now sprints right, throws, long ball, had a man running free. Now it's a jump ball in midfield, and Waters hauls it in! Corey Waters, 1-on-3. To his right. All on the left hash of the Saint 25. Corbin drops back to pass. ducks, runs. Corbin across the 20 has first down yardage inside the 15, and he tumbles down at the 13. Matthews trips him up, 2 timeouts left, and the Eagles burn one of them here.
Those are the first half highlights. Eagles found themselves down 20-15 at the halftime break to the Limestone Saints. Mike Clowney, you kind of alluded to it earlier defensively. Really a feast or famine game. Had 3 sacks, had 9 tackles for loss, but also gave up 9 runs of 10 yards or longer, granted to a pretty hard-nosed running back in Frey Stewart. Why was the defense, got a safety as well, why was the defense so feast or famine in their ability to stop Limestone's ground game?
You know, as you kind of dig into that tape, I mean, like, we were still there a lot of times to make those plays, but we fall off in tackles. You know, it's just, it turns into, like, we just have to be able to finish. You know, a lot of those plays that he made, you know, I don't think there's anything that just hit and nobody's there. You know, we get someone there in the gap that gets an arm on him, but we don't finish the tackle, and then that's what nets the higher yardage.
Yards after contact, probably not something that we track, but probably a frustrating stat if we did.
Probably the most frustrating stat you can have defensively.
The safety, haven't had one of those since a blocked punt out of the end zone at Newberry in week 3 of 2012. How did that play energize your team down by 9 at the time?
You know, I think it's something that, you know, we move the ball, we punt, and we were able to get it down inside the 1. You know, they had 2 penalties there, but they had, you know, I mean, I don't know how much you move the ball if you're inside the 1, but if you're gonna get one, I guess that's the place to have it. But it was good because you think that you get 2 points on the board and the ball back. You know, in a close football game, you know, so you go down and score again there, and I mean, it was the perfect scenario for us to kind of get back to where we want to be in a football game.
Carson-Newman falls in its sack opener in double overtime to the Limestone Saints 40-37. We break down the second half after these messages. This is the Mike Clowney Show.
Tri-Light is proud to support Carson-Newman Athletics. We salute the student athletes who are working hard to make great things happen on the field, in the classroom, and in the world. It takes vision, commitment, and teamwork, qualities we share at Tri-Light. Our mission is to provide life-changing opportunities by building a world-class fiber broadband network. If you'd like to learn more, please visit trilight.net or call us at 833-847-0824. We love to cheer for our home teams, like the Eagles. It means more when we're rooting for the people we know. Did you know Tri-Light is your home team internet provider? We're right here in Jefferson City, serving the people we know with our ultra-fast, ultra-reliable fiber broadband network. And we'd love to serve you. Learn more at trilight.net or by calling 833-847-0824. Go Eagles!
Welcome back on the Mike Clowney Show. Adam Cavalier alongside the Eagles head football coach Mike Clowney. Eagles drop a 40-37 overtime heartbreaker to open up South Atlantic Conference play to the Limestone Saints. Final score 40-37. Mike, second half action, halftime. What was your message to the team down by 5?
You know, we went and tracked everything that happened in the football game and how it happened, just so that we could see, like, from the standpoint of what we talked about earlier, is like from field position and penalties and different things like that, like, you know, how we contributed to what was happening on their side of the scoreboard. And, you know, that's what I told them. We believe in them, we love them, but we feel like if we can go back and eliminate that stuff, then we'll put ourselves in contention to win the football game. You know, we were less than a touchdown behind. You know, so I felt like we were in good control to go out. I honestly felt like, you know, we were a better football team. As a head coach, I guess I'm supposed to, but I felt like we were a better football team. I felt like we'd be able to go back out second half, take control of the game. And there was a sense of that at points in times, but we never owned the game.
Second half, Limestone opens up, goes down, kicks a field goal, takes a second to respond, but the response was always there. No doubt, you kind of alluded to it earlier, no doubt about it that you're going to fire those punches to tie the game?
No, I don't think so, because the thing that was like we just talked about the halftime speech, and we talked about the kicking game and the miscues we have there, and then we go give up a kickoff return. And so, like, you know, it frustrated at the moment, but, like, you know, the good thing was there, you know, we still held them to a field goal. So, I mean, you're still a touchdown, a 2-point conversion away, so it doesn't change things a whole lot. You know, we just need to go move the ball and put points on the board.
Braxton Westfield, the guy that ties the game at 30 early in the fourth quarter in what would be the score to force overtime, was interfered with, was double covered, dragged a defender 8 yards into the end zone. NFL caliber play.
Yep. That was exciting to watch because, you know, like you see it and then like you get that sense of release because you know the penalty's there, the ball's in the air. I mean, he just comes and takes it, and then next thing you know, he's continuing to run. You're like, he's gonna score a touchdown. And so, like, and you know, be able to see that penalty kind of get taken off, and you're in the end zone, and so kids are excited, you know, and I think that gives you kind of that push going into the back of the game to be prepared to try to win.
Overtime session. Scored quick in the first. Ivan Corbin, first Carson-Newman quarterback with 100 yards rushing since Derek Evans went for $152 against Catawba on October 12th, 2019. What did you see out of your quarterback today, especially late running the football to set you up for success?
You know, Ivan's really good with his legs. I mean, he's a couple plays in there in the drive in the first half. You know, he kind of keeps the drive alive going into that 2-minute dribble that we scored. And then just to kind of that one at the end, you know, when he reads things, you know, he has the opportunity to score every single time because he's fast, he's intelligent, he's played a lot of football. Like, we're super excited about having Ivan.
Second overtime session. Again, set up in the kicking game. Nate Kraft pushes it wide to the right. I know undoubtedly frustrated, but he's also buried a lot of field goals throughout his career. What's his mood, mentality moving forward?
I mean, it hurts. I mean, in the locker room, you could just see the hurt on his face. I mean, you know, he feels like he let his team down, but I think the coolest thing was, you know, watching them fuss at him about, you know, the way he felt. They're like, Nate, you good? We're good. You know, and it's just to watch the way these guys interact with each other is fun because, like, you know, they weren't going to allow him to kill himself.
Carson-Newman falls in double overtime to the Limestone Saints, 40-37. Here are the highlights from the second half and the overtime session.
Brings a man in motion to the left. Center back to pass. Wants the long ball over the middle of the field. Bobbled and picked. It was Callum Clements who seizes it. Jelani Baker had it in his right hand. It skittled into the air, and Callum Clements claps his hands, takes the snap, gives on a pitch to the left side, King. King lowers his shoulders, brings the boom inside the 5 and runs along the left hashes down to the 3. Into the game, either side of Corbin. The handoff is to Brackett. Brackett bruising his way forward. He's in. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Vontae Brackett, the Cisco College transfer. Straight forward for the score. 2-yard touchdown is the first of his Carson. Curtis to his right. Corbin takes, throws, right. Simpson hauls it in. The 2-point conversion is good. We are tied. 23-all with drive. Corbin takes the shotgun snap, play fake. Going to air the long ball, right side for Westfield. Westfield runs under it, reaches to the end zone. Yes, sir! Touchdown, Carson-Newman! 40 yards on the old heave-ho to Braxton Westfield. A flag on the play, but it certainly feels like Noller from the gun. Takes the snap, play fake, back to pass. Noller steps up in the pocket. He is swallowed up by Frank Lee and driven to the turf in the boundary left side, back at the 37-yard. Their first win over Carson-Newman. Here's the snap. Here's the hold. Here's the kick. It has the distance. No good. Pushed it to the right. Bonus football at Burke Tar Stadium.
Quick up the man, touchdown, orange and blue. Is in to the end zone. That will put Limestone 1 point behind. Next throw is good, and that gets Limestone a goal. Just a walk to the right. And that's a final from Williams More Stadium. Limestone 40, Carson-Newman 37. The action for Newman is 13 for Clemson versus Rockland Circle. And now, Limestone watching the 13 and
All right, back in the Mike Clowney show as the Eagles drop their sack opener in heartbreaking fashion to the Limestone Saints 40-37. Time now for Talent Talk, and this time the field walk with Michael Wantrang. It's Alonzo Houston.
What's up, everybody? I'm Michael Wantrang here with Alonzo Houston as we do the newest edition of Talent Talk.
Avon out of the gun, hands off Parker right side. Houston into the backfield, and he seizes him for a loss of 5 back to the 45.
Alonzo, let's go ahead and start our trot here. What was the highlight of your summer this summer?
Yeah, it really wasn't much to it, man. Came back up here early, like mid-June, I think, early June, and got back to work with Jeff and the strength trainers, and we just kind of just worked. I just worked the whole summer, really.
How has your off season changed from the first year you got to Carson-Newman to now?
The biggest thing I would say is, you know, Johnny was more kind of like hardcore, like, hey, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it until you get it right. And then like it was just a lot of just kind of like beat down. And then it was, I liked it, but with Jeff and the new trainers, they actually, it's more like kind of like technological, I should say. More like a lot of devices, trying to get faster, and they got me way faster and stronger than I was with Johnny. So I feel like it's improved a lot since I've been here my first year.
We spoke last year about how when you first got on campus, you were third string, you had to work your way into the role that you are now. How have you changed as a leader and as a football player in that time?
I guess, cause coming in with some of the younger cats, some of the transfers, it's like I try to tell them my story, like, man, don't be down, because when you be down, you can't really focus on trying to come up. You really focus on your position that you are right now, instead of just trying to work to get better, work to get improved and to get starting spot. And I would tell them I wasn't always like this. I was third string, second string, or I just got to keep working. Is what I was telling them.
Avon back to pass, screen, left side, Martin. One-on-one with Houston. Martin won't win the battle.
Let's change it up for 1 second. Some fun facts, quick hitters. What's your favorite TV show?
TV show, I would say Ed and Nettie.
Ed and Nettie. All right, what's your favorite food? You can eat one thing for the rest of your life. What is it?
I'm going to go with quesadillas.
Quesadilla. Chicken, steak, which kind?
Steak.
Steak, all right. Favorite NFL team?
49ers.
49ers. All right, if you could build an NFL team with 3 players, what 3 players are you taking?
My first pick, I'm taking Patrick Willis. My second pick, I'm taking Barry Sanders. And then my third pick, I'm going to have to go with Tyreek Hill.
All right. So Patrick Willis is who you're taking as your first pick there. Obviously being a linebacker. Have you tried to mimic his game at all?
From time to time, yes, because I don't have that size attribute that he has, but I try from time to time.
We talked about it last year about your family, Tommy Frazier, Peter Warwick. I don't want to get you in any trouble, but who is a better athlete if you had to pick between those 2 family members?
Tommy Frazier.
Yeah?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Tommy Frazier.
Easy question there. All right, let's go ahead and flash back now to this season as you get ready for the year as we wind this down. What is a successful 2022 year for Alonzo Houston?
Just win every game from now on. I mean, it's going to be, it ain't going to be, easy games. I feel like we just got to win every game and basically passing on, some, knowledge and some, some teachings to the younger cats, because next year, they by themselves. Mm-hmm. And I just want them to kind of have that structure, that foundation, so they can pass it on to the generation or the players under them. So I feel like that'll be more of a successful year for me.
Final question for you. When you end your career playing football, what do you want to do?
Well, I want to go back home and basically I want to start on my career, which is basically a computer hardware cybersecurity analyst, a hardware engineer or software engineer.
Well, Alonzo, it's been great talking to you. Best of luck this season.
Sir.
That's Alonzo Houston. I'm Michael Watchring on this episode of Talent Talk.
All right, thank you very much, Michael Watchring, Mike Clowney, Alonzo Houston. What more can you say about a guy whose family is willing to make a T-shirt that is him, the length of the shirt, and has been in the program for a hot minute, chasing down that 200 tackle threshold, vintage Carson-Newman linebacker.
It's funny. I'm sure he's going to catch a hard time about that comment about the T-shirt being the same size as he is. But man, we talked about Goins last week and kind of his story and his walk. And the thing that happens, like when you're a young guy coming to the college football program, it's easy to get frustrated because when that guys first come here, they've always played. A lot of times this is their first time sitting, not playing, perhaps redshirting. And that's another one of those stories to where, Alonzo walked on here. He's not big enough to play. But he's done everything that he can do to give himself a chance. He winds up being our leading tackler last year, and it's about, he's a story of persistence. He's a story of just being willing to go to work every single day and see what the Lord can do with you. He's a fun guy to coach. He's always got a million questions about what he can do to get better. He'll see something, come, hey coach, let me ask you a question. And, now it's kind of being able to transcend into, seeing him own some leadership has been fun. Just a great guy, a good, really, really, really good football player.
Turn your attention now to a pretty difficult road. Back-to-back weeks, presumably, barring any crazy upsets, where you'll face off against nationally ranked teams, potentially 2 straight top 15 teams. Travel to Lenoir-Rhyne and then back home against Newberry. Obviously don't want to look ahead to the Wolves, and how can you really when you're going to Hickory. The Bears really, really good defensively. What do you see out of this game and a road trip to face a top 25 club in Lenoir-Rhyne?
We just got to do hard well. I mean, that's your biggest thing. It's just like, we can't flinch or be worried about where we're going, what we're doing. We've got to stick to our plan, which is us get better every single day and, go over there and lay everything that we got on the line and try to win the football game.
All right, Mike Clowney, pleasure as always. Thanks for the time today.
Thank you, Adam.
That's Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier. This has been the Mike Clowney Show. Thanks for watching.